Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Wobblies, wobblies, wobblies. Checking audio, audio, audio. Excuse me for a sec. Sorry for those you wobblies who are waiting for me to do something, but I was doing a bit of audio balancing, and I also had to check the relay over here on my mobile device, which is like 10 seconds behind. I just wanted to make sure that everything was going according to plan. Now keep in mind, I'm just playing some audio so I can keep myself occupied while you guys listen. Now, I'm going to the southeastern zone for various reasons. Because I haven't been to Death Row in a minute, so, you know. I'm finna see if anything changed since the last time I played a visit to Death Row. I've been playing for these last couple of days, and I've been playing War Thunder off stream lately because of the, well, weird bugs happening, things happening, and because of certain issues associated with network connectivity with War Thunder servers lately for me. Need to find some wood planks and whatever. It's going to be like a two-door building up in Death Row or something like that that I'm going to be barricading. I'll find nails and wooden planks before I go into Death Row. Otherwise, I have to occupy a supermarket. Not an ideal location to occupy. I don't need no regular grenades because I didn't bring anything to fire them with. I got a heavy grenade launcher, but not a standard grenade launcher. My Touch My Junker 6 is all I got on my inventory right now. Get it? Touch My Junker 6. Probably lower down the game volume a little bit. So that way at least it's a bit enjoyable for you guys. Because the minigun does take up quite a bit of the sound. I could also go to Crosshair and do rainbow color override. I used to do the rainbow color override anyways, and it would constantly change colors. But certain colors are pretty weird and vibrant for my eyeballs to see, but it does adjust. Doing the color override thing and then doing that with your eyeballs can help you see better by allowing your eyes to adjust to certain types of lighting. Some colors people actually do legitimately struggle to see, so doing the color override and getting the rainbow effect can help you with inadequate sight or inadequate function. This helps your eyes adjust to colors you're not normally used to seeing. The world is filled with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of colors. However, the human eye is subjected to only seeing very few. So your eyes are very limited. Because nobody's running around with a car that's colored magenta looking. Or some color of grape. Some weird color of grape looking color. Or a peanut butter looking car. Nobody's driving around with vibrant colors that don't exactly blend with society. Like, there are types of colors and paints you've never heard of that companies don't want to make for cars because they hadn't made them in years. And it's really based on popularity on color for vehicles, which determines the colors available for the car you're getting. Otherwise, you gotta pay a special premium if you want to get the color you want. And the reason why you have to pay that special premium is because nobody has asked for a certain color that you're requesting in a long time. Companies experiment with other colors, but they mostly focus on colors that are vibrant and long-lasting, so colors that have a longer lifespan. Some colors don't do well in certain climates, so depending on where you're living, the color white might not survive too well, or the color black might not last long, depending on where you live. The same thing with the color blue. Depending on the climate you live in, your color might bubble up and burst due to imperfections, or water getting trapped under the surface after the car was finished being put out of production. In some instances, some cars can have an issue where people didn't wipe off the dust, or excess water and a very thin amount of water ends up trapped under the surface. And because of that, it creates problems for people who want to buy a new car because the reliability of the paint is very low. It's usually where I tell you people straight up the honest truth. A car's paint is only as good as the quality of the worker that is working on the vehicle. Like, take a look at Tesla. They have lots of drying rack machines inside of the company, including heating systems, to make sure that the cars stay dry as they go through the system. And you gotta wipe them down periodically to make sure there's no excess glue, no excess dirt, no excess grime on panels, to make sure that the vehicle is in tip-top shape as it goes into the next part, which is usually the paint department. You don't want to have a car go into the paint department and all of a sudden it has to get detracked and then sent back down the line to get stripped of whatever paint and primer has already been applied to it, and then to have the car completely cleaned up and then polished and then resent back down the same line for thorough inspection. Now, a lot of companies go based off of experience and seniority and connections to the company, like stakes. Connections to a company would basically be like having a stake in a company's total stock. The best way I could describe it is that if you don't have a stake inside of the company, you're going to struggle to get promotions and stuff like that. And the stake has to be pretty big. It can't just be like $10,000, because that means nothing. That's a drop in the bucket for that man. If you have $250,000 or $1 billion into the company, then cool. You believe in a man's dream and making the world a better place. However, it's also impractical as cobalt becomes toxic material when it's all used up. Because cobalt is organic. It's a type of soft stone that can be found on the earth. After it's refined, it becomes ultra soft and is able of compacting electricity into cell banks. When cobalt is properly polished and added with the proper materials and metals, which are also included with it, give it its vibrant ability to not only be solid and hard, but at the same time malleable underneath the thick surface of the exterior of the cell bank. That's the reason why at first cell phone batteries feel hard whenever they're brand new, but after a while cell phone batteries get very soft. And that's because cobalt, which is inside of cell phone batteries and Tesla car batteries, break down over time. It is because they have cells in them that make them a living organism. Now, there are cobalt mines in Mexico, which is the reason why Elon expanded his business in making the Tesla batteries in Mexico. However, cobalt is a very robust type of metal / stone / clay-like substance, and it can be pulled out of the ground. Cobalt comes in many different shapes, sizes, and forms. Sometimes it could be literally like clay, meaning that it's already ready for refinement. So that makes it easier. You can skip a couple of steps if it's already soft. But in some cases, you need to harden cobalt in order to come up with hardened material, like some tanks actually have cobalt in them. They use it as a special type of material for the metal. Ever heard of a cobalt breastplate? Cobalt can be a very hard material when utilized with other metals and chemicals properly. And yes, I am playing Dead Frontier. The reason why is because I wanted to explore Death Row. While I listen to music. Oh, there's a boss here. Oh, there was bandits. That's why. I'm gonna leave those bandits there. I have no need for a bandit camp or anything like that. Although bandits are helpful for gathering special resources, materials, and weapon parts, I don't need to really get any closer to them than I need to. I just need to pass through at that point. Besides, fighting bandits in that cramped situation wouldn't have worked out. Not without somebody else with me. Now, if you're wondering why I'm going Farsight XR20 on these bitches, it's because it's what I want to do. This bolt-action sniper rifle does way more damage than my Warg carbine. I wish they would add the KPVT machine gun to this game. It would be pretty cool. It's a 14.5mm anti-tank machine gun, giving you damn near 60mm of armor penetration. 60mm is well over a few inches of armor penetration. So if you're wondering how far 60mm is a couple of inches into steel plates, if you really break it down. Need to pull up my inventory, because I do gotta eat a bit of health if I have any. This 50 caliber handgun ammunition ain't gonna really score me nothing. I did find an AK-47 on the way here, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I brought my God cannon, also known as the Vulcan Cannon Godcraft. I looted it during an event. Best loot item I ever got. For free. I got some candy right now on me. Halloween candy. I saved that up too. Originally inside of Wobbly storage, he used to have about 20 pieces of Halloween candy. And I've had it since like I think 2020 or sometime after that, I can't remember. But I've had the Halloween candy for some time. It was a bit redundant to have it for that long, but I've had it for a little while. That's like a real breakdown of it. I've had the Halloween candy for a little while. And I believe this will be the first block of Death Row. It's going to be a little hard getting from point A to point B. Nope. It's not glowing red, so I'm not in Death Row. You'll know when you're in Death Row whenever you start seeing the area and the freaking sky is red all the damn time. Right now, I'm like in the beginning of the southeastern zone. Sudden increase of infected. Once you hit Death Row, two things you need to know. Melee weapons and suppressed weaponry only. So once I'm in Death Row, there is no shooting my main gun. However, sup? This dude's like, hello. Once I hit Death Row, it's all silence. Yep. I have a minigun. I've been to Death Row, DR. I spent more time there than in the new zone I went to this morning, RR. What's the loot pool? Nice. Well, wish me luck. Also, nice. You too. I know. I'm like, I know, the hazmat guys are a problem down there. I've seen dudes in DR with yellow on and glowing, so they moved them to red and rock. Interesting. Duntsville. Well, whatever the case is. I gotta be very well alert about what I'm doing down here now, because I'm already in an extreme danger zone. Once I pass a specific block, the only thing I should be using is silenced weaponry and dual blades. But since I don't have the melee stat for dual blades, and I put it into explosives in case of an emergency, like last time, where I ended up trapped in a hospital, I had to use my damn grenade launcher to fire over the wall, but that's no longer a thing. So I'd be inclined to purchase a stat reset in order to accommodate for issues. For anybody wondering why I would want to be inclined to buying a stat reset, well, that is a Dodge Challenger rear. Is that a Challenger? No, that's a Charger. That's a Dodge Charger rear. The Challenger was a much bigger body baby. Still love them though. It's the one thing Hudson Motors had came up with pretty good. Before they changed their name to a bunch of stuff, and then they ended up with Dodge. There is a boss in this zone. Well, trying to see which jackass is in here to determine whether or not we want to stick around. Two things I could do to boost my speed slightly. But this would require changing my armor. And changing my armor is a risk factor because those enemies down there hit like a damn truck. So two things I gotta be aware of when putting on Shinobu over here is that although I get a 5% increase in my speed, I need to be fully aware that these guys down there hit like a Truckosaurus, so if I get hit by them once, it could put me out of commission. %40 loot spots, 35% search speed, 50% miscellaneous loot chance, 130% ammo, 110% cash, 110% armor, 120% weapon. Incoming damage reduction is only 6%, 12% speed boost. And now that I changed my armor, it should be 17. I might as well eat the freaking snack to get an XP boost as well for the next hour since I'm already technically in the zone. But there's going to be a 2-minute wait if I die, so... Let me pull up my inventory again since I got to reorganize it. Okay, I got 800 plus 800, 1600. I got 2,022 grenades of heavy grenades. In the event of a total emergency, I'll pull out the Junker 6. If the minigun doesn't cut it. And I have to go bacon, ham, and cheese on these bitches. Alright, so I got a 17% speed boost because of my light armor non-stat requirement armor, but it's only got a 75% damage reduction. So when I go running through here, I need to be very well aware of my surroundings, because if I run into a Titan or some other kind of freak, I'm not going to make it. Particularly a charred Titan, because those are the most frequent down here. And it is. Jesus Christ, they always got one of these bastards guarding the damn gate. There better not be another motherfucker down here, because I ain't got time. I'm not even in the southeastern zone, and I'm already ran into 2 different bosses. That's not a good thing. I'll have to take advantage of this building for the time being. Now, if you're wondering why I gotta take advantage of the building, is because I'm gonna use this building to my tactical advantage to see what boss is in this area. If it's another charred Titan, I probably won't make it to the exit. At least not the next one. This guy poses a heavy risk, charred Titans. And if the traffic's really bad going up the way I need to go to, I'm screwed. So if there's a traffic jam and it doesn't work out in my favor, I'm screwed anyways. But on the upside, I've managed to make it point A to point B, so before I even think about doing what is essentially a barricade, I gotta look at what I'm facing. What is today's boss on the menu? Well, bastards seem to be coming out of the woodwork, so I need to know what boss is floating in the zone. I don't think I'm gonna get that answer. So I should just eliminate the enemies inside of this building. Son of a bitch. And that's why. I had an unspent Argo count that didn't make any sense. But there might be a boss in this area. But since none of the TF profiler maps or boss detection systems are working, then I have no idea what part of the area I'm in. I'd spend some time wiping the floor with these guys. Anyways, give me the southeastern zone to loot some stuff and see what I can get out of here. Any non-limited edition item, any weapon proficiency 120 and below can be looted in the southeastern zone. Meanwhile, while I figure out the other stuff I'm supposed to do, my NGC rifle is now being moved out so that way I can grab my damn grenade launcher. I know there's bimbos over here somewhere, so no, shut up. Shut up, will you? Shut up. Hi, welcome to Favela Busters. Hi, welcome to Buster Rhymes. How may I help you? Okay. got 24 rounds and my Junker 6. Currently loaded up in the clip, that is. Just refilling on food. I'm taking a bit of damage with my Shinobu mesh on. It's not good. And I gotta look out for charred titans, because they can cause me some serious issues. I had to burp for a second. Okay, so my major issues right now is that I'm in this building, and quote unquote, I'm gonna tell you this now, I'm inside of this building, but on the death row block area, heading towards it. Now, my major problem right now is that there's a boss in the block I'm in, but I have no idea what the boss is. Or if it was just random Argo spiked, it wasn't actually appearing on the map. But whatever it is, I just know that it's getting pretty rough getting from point A to point B, and I don't know what the boss is in this zone. Oh, hell no. I already know what's up here. I don't need an explanation. So I'm stuck in a rock and a hard place between two different zones, and my first option is to run to this building because I'm not making it to the next damn block. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not making it anywhere to the next block. So what I need to do is leave it right here and see if I can find the boss map. See if I can find an appropriate boss map that actually works to give me an idea of what's here. According to the system, I got 2 number 9s, and I'm currently in these 2 blocks. The cycle has not appeared. So Mega Titans are essentially just 3 times the boss, so keep that in mind. Any type of Mega Titans are 3 times the boss. Right here I'm on DF Profiler, which got the new looting zone, which is Raven Rock Heights. Currently put into the thing. Okay. The current position is between 2 Shard Titans. Then we got Mega Titans, which is 3 times Mega Titans. Then you got the Smoldering Giant Bear, which is a B level event. Level 4 is Bandits. We got Bandits next to there and Bandits in 1 block. So I should be able to evade them. Right now, since I've run into this boss, it could be anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes before I'm no longer having to deal with them. So it's going to be a minute of sitting inside of here, unfortunately. I don't move fast enough in order to get through the zone without getting a booster going. So I'm stuck in the pre-southeast end zone, aka pre-death row. Before I'm an official death row, which takes a long time to clear. Now it says using the Wrath Cannon in death row is not wise, but since I've done it before numerous times and I've survived using my Wrath Cannon in death row a bunch of times, it's kind of like one of the funniest things that I've done. Do the opposite of what the person who is smarter than me tell me. Now, of course, it brings all the enemies to the block that are literally on the block, waiting or looking for you, to you. But on the upside, at least you know you don't gotta handle extra bullshit, and then you can just straight up annihilate them faster. The faster you annihilate them, the more you can access your inventory. You cannot access your inventory mid-fight whenever you are in death row, so that's a major thing you should know now. So if you think, oh, I'll just pull up my inventory while in the middle of a fight with a bunch of Argo, dream on. It ain't happening. You are guaranteed to be 100% exposed until you do that, and even then, you only have access to your inventory for a short amount of time, before eventually it boots you out. The only way to really do anything with death row, or to do any kind of major inventory moving around with a short amount of time, which is allotted, I believe, half an hour of max barricade time. Now right now, I can technically barricade this building and clear out my inventory now, but I would need to spend quite a bit in order to buy 2 new barricades. But on the upside, at least I can barricade this one building for now, and put away all the crap, clearing up some space, and get some repairs underway. So by performing a barricading job, it makes it a little easier. Now this is pre-barricading, since I really don't have a choice. I'll have to buy 2 or 3 barricade kits. Hey, what's happening, yo? I picked up a bag of nails and some wood. Do I really gotta open my inventory to grab the other barricade kit? Yeah, I do. I have to bring the barricade kit out of my special inventory, which is my backpack. Okay, I can enter temporary outpost mode, anything before like major zones or whatever, and stuff like that. Any kind of pre-stuff or pre-barricading and stuff like that, that can be moved out of that area and taken from the zone. However, here's something you should know about that as well. So that way you could actually have an idea of whatever it is that I'm doing. It's just so that it isn't like condescending or confusing. But pre-barricading is good if you want to last longer in the deeper zones, further down the list. It could prove to be problematic later down the road if you don't have it available when needed. Right now I'm moving around a bit of ammo. Now, I would sell this 12.7 millimeter, but once I run out of grenades, which is roughly 1,600, so I put away 400. I'm not going to need this food, since there will be plenty of truffles down there that are not cooked. Now, anything else I need to know? I just know that if you barricade, you always want to be fully aware that, you know, anybody could take down your barricades and be like, oh, well, I need to do this. Like, if all of a sudden you get an error in the trading area for your barricades and whatever, it might create problems with people. Now, when I do barricading and stuff like that, I do it because that's what I want to do. So they're going to charge me $14,000 for freaking nails, $11,000 for freaking that, and then it's going to cost me $10,000. So the people who are running all the barricade kits down here obviously have gone through the process of doing whatever. But I'm going to buy it anyways because I only need 2 kits. And roughly I'll be spending less when I break it all down. So if you didn't know, barricade kits cost $7,500, and I spent approximately quite a bit just to make them. But it's going to be worth it later. Building these barricade kits are going to definitely benefit me. So creating 2 of them would definitely be useful, but I won't use those unless I get all the way down to the bottom. Need to go repair my armor, so I better get a jump on that. I have to put these steroids away since they're the ones that I currently have access to right now. Okay. I've probably got a few more minutes. I'm not entirely sure how long barricades last in this zone. There's always a guy selling services for less than $5 grand. The southeastern zone. Okay. Gonna leave that slot unlocked. I'm not gonna have to leave one of my weapons behind, unfortunately, in order to create some extra space. So go into my bank while I can. Deposit all the money I have. There. Gonna have to move some weapons out of protected slots. What's I'd like to take? My good-looking battle rifle leaves me with 8 slots more or less available. I might have to leave the X-Garand behind. But that's mostly because of obvious reasons. Although it does deal a significantly fat amount of damage. Gonna need to drop at least some bullets off. So I have 9 slots. I could drop off some more 14mm. Give me roughly 4 and 4, 8, 4. So you got 5 up top, 5 on the bottom. We got 10 slots. I'm gonna keep the X-Garand for various reasons, but that's because of its 60% PvE armor penetration values and the fact that it's way stronger than my Warg carbine. I have to leave behind the Farsight XR20 for obvious reasons. I have to leave that rifle behind. Even though it has the highest DPS, the fact that it's not silenced, I can't take it into the battle zone. Now the ASVAL Ghost, that can be taken in, but it doesn't have a lot of high armor penetration damage, so I won't be able to destroy the armor or hit the enemy. So the enemy will likely absorb all the ASVAL Ghost ammunition. I'll probably have to shoot them like 4 or 5 times, so I really want to do some damage to them. But because it's silenced, it's got its advantage. So 2 things you should know. Every grenade launcher has a 100% player versus environment armor penetration value, and it has a 10 or 20 to up to 50% chance to stun the enemy for 0.4 seconds. Every Warg carbine, whether it be mastercrafted or godcrafted, will always have a 50% armor penetration value. Every Wrath cannon will be the same thing, whether it be unlimited or not unlimited. The X-Garand, being because it's not silenced, has a 60% player versus environment armor penetration value. The Vulcan cannon has a 20% PvE armor penetration because it's 12.7. Now, if you're looking for pistols, the only pistol that's going to have a decent armor penetration value of 100% will be the Thunder 12, which uses 12.7 rifle bullets, and it's got a 1 magazine fire capacity, very fast reload, very slow firing, very high accuracy, and very high critical chance. With 105 pistol skills, you can basically be shooting that thing, but it's not silenced, so the Thunder 12 is not a silenced pistol. It's very loud, and it's one of the strongest handguns in the game. You can get the Ashen SRSA1, which is the upgraded version of the Dragunov and does about 10 points more damage, but it gets a noise reduction of 15%, so it's practically silenced. If you have the Blackout B19, which is the Bison PP19, then you'll basically essentially have a silenced machine gun that runs on 32 ACP ammunition and has 64 rounds capacity, with a 20% silence reduction on your noise. It's perfect for looting. Now, if you manage to build the XMP5, which costs 3 million to craft, you'll have a weapon that is, quote unquote, silence with a 25% reduction on noise. But from what I know of right now, the current highest silenced weapon in the game would be the Asval Ghost. That would probably be the highest silenced weapon I know about in the game. Nope, but it looks like the boss is still in my block, which is not good. Give me a second. Okay. I need to do a little bit of a market investigation to see how much a Devil Heart would cost here. Because drugs cost here less. So I'm going to tell you this now, drugs and stuff like that will likely cost less the closer you are because they're more frequently found down here. Somebody recently bought some Devil Hearts. Well, it's now 800k, I'm not going to spend that much for that. Now, Easter candy is, I think, a speed booster, but I need to look at the Wikipedia again to see what the Easter candy brings. I think it's under miscellaneous items because that's what the candy is listed as. Or it could be under drugs. Yeah, Easter candy would be a 35% damage boost. I'm looking for Halloween Christmas candy. These are non-transferables. So I'd be looking for a Christmas present in order to run that Christmas candy, break it down. Because the other one's damage booster. The volatile hide is very expensive. 500k for an XAK-47 blueprint. Which I would spend that much on that, to be honest. X-Manberg, XMP5, X-Reactive, which I actually have, the X-Reactive XT. blueprint. Because I have it there in my inventory storage. I think it's like 10 million for that print. Yeah, it says X reactive or whatever. Let's see. If I go into my crafting, I should be able to see what I'm doing. It's very important to know what it is. It's called the X reactive, but it says you need X mesh blueprints to make the exterminator mesh. And then it says to make the X reactive, it says you need exterminator reactive XT, 1 Tataku reactive, 1 X reactive print. And it cost 8 million to craft this baby, giving you 535% armor health and 90% damage absorption. Tataku offers 85% and 400%. Now the Exterminator helmet actually is just like base material. Now I don't know what to do since I'm stuck with a rock in a hard place. Because being stuck here between two charred titans is not a good thing. And that's like something I don't want to deal with. And I don't know what to do. I could try looking for a miniature speed boost. Well, it looks like I'm literally going to be doing whatever for a while. Now, for less than 500k, I can get a cognitive stimulation drug. Boost XP gain by 50% for 15 minutes and speed for 35% for 15 minutes. That'll be essentially a near 50%. Well, actually be a 50% plus speed boost for literally 15 minutes, then it reverts back to the 17%. Now, I can spend 400k and grab a Christmas present, but odds are I might end up with the opposite of what I need. And then you have adrenaline. $35% and it's still 500k. I think adrenaline can actually be found in this zone, but I have to be directly in the southeastern zone to get the adrenaline. Because if I click over here on the credit shop, the adrenaline isn't going to be in the credit shop. So this is likely stuff I can find just laying about. So if I get lucky in the southeastern zone, maybe I can land some adrenaline. Well, this is going to be a gamble, but I don't got much of a choice. I'm not going to like the results I get, I'll tell you that much. So it's time to open up the city. Boss cycles only last about 45 minutes to an hour. The most they can last is an hour and 30 minutes. Gonna run a final check. Okay, so now I'm stuck between two Ks. And I'm still stuck with two charred titans in these zones. And then below that is the number 6, which are some bandits, level 4, and then below that is an M for Mega Titans, so that's 3 Titans. Mega Titans, so I'm dealing with 3 times, so I'm still dealing with the charred Titan whether I like it or not. Okay. So I need to break down these barricades, so that way the barricade is available for anybody who wants the barricade. So the first thing I want to do is debarricade this location. And then I want to exit out through here, at the bottom of this store. And pray to God that one of these buildings at the bottom are actually availably open. Actually there is. Like a hopscotch to this building. This are future justice. Don't ask me why I'm chilling, but I'm literally looking around first. I definitely don't want to run into more problems, because the last thing I need is more problems. Okay, that means that the 2 Titans may have moved down. Unless this is the bandits. Okay, this is bandit activity. I could deal with this temporarily. Same old, as usual. 2 things I need to know about this generalized zone is that once I open fire, that's pretty much it. Now, for those of you who don't know, Mega Titans can consist of 3 Titans, or 3 huge irradiated Titans, or 3 huge irradiated charred Titans, formerly known as Black Titans. It's good to know the general statistical functions of this game, because then it could really save your ass. Especially if you're doing a lot of looting, or if you just plan to do a loot run. Now, they say that the Wrath Cannon will only bring you trouble in the southeastern zones, which in this case it probably will. I've never seen that before. Well, that happened. I ran into a boss type without realizing it. And then I ended up choking right there with pulling out the weapons that were needed to defend myself. Fucking great. Instead of having the war cannon out, I whipped out a grenade launcher, fired off a single round off into the distance, and then I ended up going to the war cannon, and then to the wrath cannon for literally no seconds. So I basically wasted my time here. What a fucking waste. I'm just gonna watch a damn YouTube video or something. Wow, it's childish Fambino. I'm fucking with you. It's freaking Donald Glover. Hmm. Interesting. So this guy made a Quadro VTEC car from Cyberpunk 2077. So he tore apart a Lamborghini Countach practically and then decided to turn it into a Cyberpunk car. Okay. You know, if people had some brain cells, they know the people over there are losing pretty bad. You still haven't revived me yet, you dick? Probably shouldn't have went in there with that shitty Chernobyl mesh either. What a fat waste of my life. I took approximately 33 minutes to get there, only to die at the entrance. Piece of rat ass shit. That was primarily annoying. I just put these 2 barricade kits up. I don't need them in my inventory no more. I made approximately $0, guys. 0. And no, I'm not going to count looting an AK-47 and the sledgehammer as lootable money. $0. I made fucking $0. What so fucking ever. I'm annoyed. I wasted my time going to Southeastern Zone. I wasted my time avoiding flaming charred titans. I wasted my goddamn time, period. Normally I do well, but for some reason things kind of just started ending up turning to shit as soon as I got further into the zone. Note to self, if I'm going to be having this much trouble, I should just start subtracting weapons from my inventory and just leave it to where it is. Where there's practically nothing but a minigun in my inventory because I already have enough problems on my plate and I'm already dealing with too much bullshit again. I got so much shit on my plate right now that I'm actually completely angry beyond normal standards. Now, if I could punch the internet, which I'm not going to say that I physically can, but theoretically I technically can punch the internet, ruining it for everybody globally if I really wanted to. And with that kind of power in this world, I guess I could say I could ruin the networking for all the nations around the world and put you back into the Stone Age if I really wanted to. It's funny. When you cut the internet off, people are pissed off because they don't have their porn. Grow up. Get over it. You don't have a right to porn. It's a privilege to have the internet. It's a privilege to even have the internet, period. In fact, it's not a right to anybody anywheres. You don't have the right to have the internet, and I'll break that down for you simple. If you're an underage child or a grown adult person, it is not a national right to have the internet. I could break that down very simple for you. So if all of a sudden I decided to cut the world's internet off and just shut it all down and just leave global communications like TV and everything else running, the world might actually lose a bit of its insanity. And then you might start seeing a sudden increase in brain cells and adequate candidates for people who are actually functional. And that's not a theory, that's the truth. In the words of Albert Einstein, the current state of the world that it's currently sitting in, people are considered inadequate slobs in his eyes. It basically means that because humanity has turned out in such a fashion or way that society has become, well, more of an ass joke. His words, not mine. And I kind of see what he means by society has become the butt of the joke. What he's basically stating is that things have gotten so bad with the general issues and the internet pretty much ruining the intelligence of people before they get fresh out of high school or whatever. It has gotten so significantly bad that it has warped the minds of young individuals and basically future scholars who are now likely not going to be a scholar, but likely be Tammy from down the street, giving out HJs. But Tammy, let's just call it that, is essentially a figurative term to be used to describe a situation that is not really happening, however it probably is somewheres. But what I'm getting at is that the internet kind of spoils the human mind, and people look to the internet to try to make as much profits that they can as they can at the sacrifice of your intellectual ingenuity of your life. The internet is like your favorite pastime. That's basically like the whole rundown of it. The internet is like your favorite pastime, your best friend or whatever sitting on the side basically. And there's like nothing else to it. It's just that. That would be the best description of the internet that I can give you. It's basically your friend who lives next door who is, well, not the smartest apple in the bunch. You'd be that guy like, my neighbor lives next door to me, but he's not that smart. He's a moron. So that would be what you would tell your parents. That makes sense. Anyways, I'm not sure if I want to continue doing these live streams. That kind of just buzz killed me. The fact that that buzz killed me this much, I'm literally depressed again. No, bandits suck. I'm not going to waste my time going for them. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm already depressed. I spent about almost 45 minutes getting down there, and then I'm just like right back at the fucking beginning. Have a great day. Don't forget to leave a like. This is miserable.